Okay. I decided to give you guys Afro Fluffy. I actually love that. I call myself Frizzy Lizzy or Afro Fluffy sometimes. But I kind of wanted to come on and chat because there was just a couple things that were like kind of heavy on my mind. So I wanted to chat with you guys about that. Okay. Um, this is like a race and ethnicity chit chat because, bro, I saw the doc. Let's talk about Dr. Umar. So okay, so Dr. Umar is he's got a PhD, a doctorate degree, and I don't know if it's not clinical psychology. Like he doesn't. It's like behavioral psychology where he does like assessments for behavioral disorders in school. So he does like evaluations for like learning disabilities. I feel like I'm pretty spot on with this explanation. So this is what he does. This is great. Okay. But like he's been making the rounds. So he's been on he chatted with Nick Cannon about this. I remember Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, I think, took some time and went back to Howard and got a degree. So it does make sense that he's, talking about some issues. But here's the issue I have with Nick Cannon personally. The things that he's talking about don't impact him, and they won't impact his family or life ever. Like the children that he has with Mariah Carey, just given their like level of like relative wealth, he's talking about the issues that are facing like inner city black youth, and he is no longer an inner city black youth. And I think it's really strange that all of a sudden when all of these black men they start to like hit adulthood, and now like I guess society is expecting them to like pick up their man card, you'll start to see the circle, right? Like I don't know if you guys saw this year, like Steve Harvey did some camp or something with like boys, and they were all, it was kind of like a military grade black excellence camp. I thought it was strange. It's not strange because it's not good. I think it's probably like useful for some boys, but also I think that like we just have to be serious about society, right? Like, um, in the same way that like Killer Mike just won a Grammy and everything, he also is like a very active supporter of like stripper culture in Atlanta, and like is funding that behavior. So I mean, it's like the accountability has to be there, and it's not like an accountability that you can like turn off. It's like you're either like about that life or like you're not. And if you're not, okay, like who is really like expecting these people to change? I'm not. Like I don't, I'm not saying I don't care, but kind of like what? Okay, so let's keep going for a second though. So then Dr. Umar also talks to he talks to Little Yachty. Little Yachty. So now I was watching some of that conversation yesterday, and here's like what I got from it that I thought was a little bit strange. Little Yachty is in like kente cloth. He's in like a traditional like African garb cloth. It was kind of giving hotep between the two of them, which like Little Yachty's just never given me hotep before. That's why it was like strange. Like he doesn't really feel like the sort of black guy who's like, I don't know though. I gotta say, I'm not like a super Little Yachty fan. So where he started and all this stuff, like I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. But they both started talking about race, ethnicity, and culture because they were trying to explain like who's black and who's not black and how you identify an African and things like that. And I've heard other people have this conversation too. There's actually a comment I'm going to read out to you guys that I think is like relevant here. But it made me a little bit upset because we've been having this conversation for a while. And how the fuck is it that they're just now getting on the bandwagon? Like, if you're on this channel, I hope that you know this channel is exclusively brought to you from the inspiration of, like, Sensei SEREN. I don't even know what SEREN is doing now. I really hope that she's still writing or making content. But there was a time when there were, like, basically no black girlies on YouTube talking about anything. And SEREN was talking about, like, how she was talking about, like, activism, being in the streets, and, like, basically, like, as a black female, as a black American, why she felt particular ways about a variety of things. So she talked about race, she talked about gender. She didn't talk about really dating much, maybe like a little bit, but it was a lot about like black American culture and the rituals like within that and how that is a real thing. And I feel like she like validated the black American experience for a lot of YouTubers. If you think about nappy headed jojoba, like she references SEREN quite a lot. She kind of started like the video essay is a little bit. I know we have Khadijah now who's taken it to like a whole other level, and a lot of people are doing more like video essays on, you know, culture and society. But I feel like maybe SEREN was the first one who introduced like culture and society, like, you know, videos. I always reference that one because I do feel like we do need to have a more specific culture conversation about race, ethnicity, and culture. Because, like, I don't know if people don't know this, but like Hispanic is not a race. It is not a racial group. So it is really interesting when people call like Latino or like Hispanic like racial groups. That's not a racial group. Like black is a racial group. Like African black, that is a racial group. White, European, that is a racial group. Like Asian, racial group. There's only like 4 racial groups. Race, even, and then people always like to go, well, race is a construct and all this shit. Like Spanish is a language in the same way that like Amharic is a language. And I'll actually read this comment. Someone commented this on one of my videos, and I thought it was actually really good. So I'm just going to read it to you. So this is on my Dear South Africans video. Colored culture versus black African culture. Black is pure African bloodline. We speak our native African languages. We identify by our tribes. We perform ceremonies for our ancestors. We believe in African religion and not only Christianity or Islam. We have traditional African weddings. We have African names, not English names. Essential black people never lost their culture. I would agree with this. It's another reason why I would really encourage any black American, anyone who is like brown and is trying to understand like how they fit into Africanness in a way, to find actual continental Africans who look like you. So go find your phenotype, your skin color. This is why like I personally have found like the Habesha community. Like I literally like obviously go talk to your parents, try to find as much information as you can from the people who you're actually related to, but then just go look like if you seriously like look, if you put your picture next to somebody else and you're like, you look like dead on by them. That's how genetics works. Like you're passing on genes. So when people are talking about, this is why I always talk about like preferences and dating preferences. People like what they like in terms of like sexual attractiveness. Like, so if someone like, remember how I made that video that was like Tina Kuniki and her man or whatever, and how they broke up, but then he literally dated somebody who looks just like her because that's what he's attracted to. So that's how it goes. Like, so, and that's another thing I think is very strange, especially for black men who continue to be like, black women are so ugly, or they'll say a bunch of derogatory shit about black women. They'll say shit about your hair. They'll say shit about your skin color. They will anything, right? And the thing about it is like American culture is based on capitalism, so you're gonna have the experiences that you can pay for, or that are awarded to you if you have some sort of like privilege or opportunity given to you via like philanthropy. If not, like you actually like won't have the opportunity because you can't pay for it. Like there's a lot of poor people in this country too. I don't know why everybody believes that like everyone is rich and everyone has access. They don't. And also like all over the world, there are extremely wealthy people. like super duper wealthy. They have money, and they can buy shit. Like I just saw, it looks like Rihanna performed at some Indian wedding like today. Um, so the son of some billionaire in India had a wedding. Rihanna performed. I mean, I don't really have any bad thing to say about that. I would just like question it. Like, I really wish that Indian culture and Indian people would just stay in their own lane, and not in some way where I'm trying to be funny or be like evil. I'm being quite serious. Like, y'all have your own singers. You have Bollywood. like y'all have shit. I don't understand why you keep needing like American culture to like come over. I don't know if you guys remember when Beyonce performed there a while ago, and it was just like, I mean, this is fine. I know we all love Beyonce as a performer. She's fucking great, but like, y'all have like Indian singers that are great too, that all the Indian people seem to like. Why don't you get them to perform at your very high profile Indian wedding? Because to be honest, like, none of us give a shit about that. Like, about this Indian billionaire guy who's getting married. We don't really care. Like, I'm not a part of Indian culture. Like, obviously, Rihanna is like very heavily soaked in American culture, which is transmitted everywhere. But like, we don't give a shit about, like, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who his son is. None of us like care. You see where I'm going? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we'll probably never care. I don't even know the guy's name. I didn't take long enough to read it. It might have been in the article, but I like, none of us care. They were talking about how like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg's gonna go to the wedding, and it's like, that's great. Like, Bill Gates super rich, right? Mark Zuckerberg very very wealthy. What the fuck does that have to do with like the rest of us? Anyway, so going back to like race, ethnicity, and culture, and like why it actually might mean something to you. Why should it mean something to you, like person who's watching my YouTube channel? I hope that it means something to you, so that first of all, there is a lot of people who continue to believe that like Black Americans have no culture, and I just beg to differ. Black Americans have a lot of culture, and actually we'll keep reading this because that comment goes into this a little bit more. Colored culture is just like African American culture in the sense that majority mixed as a result of slavery. Like native Khoi Africans, Malaysians, Asians were slaves in South Africa. They had their cultures taken away from them. They only speak European languages. They only have European names. They only follow Christianity or Islam. Like African Americans, their culture is one that was created by them in recent times, as they are a group of different ancestry that were forced to come together to form their own culture, traditions just like African Americans. Coloreds can look like Kelly Rowland to Zendaya to white. Black South Africans all have 4C hair and are dark skinned to brown skin only. Oh, yeah. I like I said, I just think it's really important to have really just have an idea and understand that even in terms of like Africa and blackness, Africa's 54 countries, and all of those countries are the entire, like, if you think about Nigerian culture, yes, Wizkid is Nigerian. I think Thames is also Nigerian, but even just think about the differences between Wizkid and Thames. They're like not that similar. I mean, maybe there are like some cultural things that they have. Their style is different. The way they dress just between those two people is different. And then there's like I think, I'm not sure if Arya Star is also Nigerian, but like think about the differences between like Arya Star and Thames. Different. Like, and then obviously I literally have a Habesha exploration series on this channel, and all of those women have lives. Like I saw that Lillian Tesegi, she like posted a video that was about, she demonstrated how to make this traditional coffee, right, in Ethiopian culture, which I thought was really cool. Like, we actually do need to see that. I wonder, actually, maybe I'll try to find it just so that you guys can like watch it with me and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's in one of her shorts. Oh Oh yeah, it's this. So it's like Ethiopian Eritrean coffee. That's cool, right? Or if I don't know, I follow a lot of Habesha people, so it is also Leah Kabiti's birthday today, so happy birthday, Leah Kabiti. I did mean to say that. And Leah posted something that I thought was really good. She has like Leah Library. It's like a curated series of books and that little bag pouch that she has. And so you can buy the bag, the Leah Library bag, and take your favorite books around with you. So how cool is that, right? We're definitely gonna buy that. Maybe hit up like the library cafe. Oh my god. Okay, so it is also Lupita Nyong'o's birthday, and I adore her. I also think it's like really useful, right? Like I love watching Segan and Segan's videos and Segan's content simply because she's like brown, she's beautiful, and she is like making just feminine content, like woman content, which is like important. We just need more examples of that. I said this so many times. Um, you should definitely just follow like people who look like you. This is the point. Like follow people who look like you, and it'll take you so far. So far, because so many things become in reach when it is like clear that, you know, I actually just saw something that I thought was cool. It was Hallie and Willow who were at they were somewhere at some fashion show or something. It's very nice. I think they're great. Oh, that's funny. Tell me that's not hilarious. That's funny as fuck. I don't even know. That's just funny as fuck. Ew. I also like Tina Kuniki. I think she's great. I feel like I've said that so many times. Um, I think she's just very much so like very brown and just, you know, existing. I appreciate that a lot. A lot. We just need so much representation of so many things. And also, did we talk about Khalees being in Africa? That's the whole thing. It's like fascinating. Did I talk about this on this channel already? So basically, Khalees is in Africa. She just has been traveling through Africa and just is making a whole bunch of content about her new farm life and all these products that she's making. But she's like legitimately been just traveling like all through Africa. She's got like traditional garbs that she's bought, like shoes and the jewelry. I think this is all from Tanzania. She's got like the belt and the sneakers. I thought it was great. All I'm saying is that there's all of these examples of like cultural how do you say, different versions of brown, black, African American girls who are all doing very different things, but they're great. There's also, I don't know, she always comes up in my feed, which I think is kind of cool. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is very nice. It's Willow. I guess she's at the Acne Studio show. She looks great. She's got some braids. Very nice. I know, I'm like trying to figure out like what else I could possibly share with you that might be interesting. I love Willow. She's for Dior Beauty. I do love Dior Beauty. I actually use it as well. If you're wondering, yeah, the makeup actually that I use, I have it right here. I use it like every day. I use Forever Dior. It's I don't know what shade is this? 445W. Yeah. It's kind of golden. It definitely it brings out more orange in my shade. Um, which I do like, but I just gotta find something that actually fits my color profile. See, like, I love this. It's like Tina Kuniki, right? She's got like big curly hair. I love it. She's fucking great. Hey, Tina. Right? Okay, anyway. So I think you guys got the point.